Creating YouTube content is no longer optional for online businesses. It is an absolute necessity. Now, a lot of people might be freaked out by that because you think, oh my gosh, Mr. Beast is kind of the benchmark. It's going to take so much time and money and resources and bandwidth to create my YouTube content. I don't want to believe that that's true. And I don't want to give you anxiety, but I'm just the messenger. I don't make the rules. It's absolutely obligatory in 2025. If you don't believe me, I have another video that explains the 6 reasons why. I'll link that down below. But I do have good news for you, and that's that creating long-form content does not need to be difficult. In fact, my clients only ever do one take, and most of them don't even do any prep work ahead of time. And in this video, I'm going to give you the 3 methods that we use with my clients to do exactly that. So the first method that we use with my clients is what I call the rephrase the question method. So we will come up with a structure and an outline for a YouTube video. We'll figure out, what the headline is, what the value is, what we're going to give to the viewer, and then create a bit of a story arc behind it. And then we will write it not in terms of bullet points, but just in questions that we ask the client. So I'll ask my client, what are we talking about today? Who's it for? And why is this important? So then they rephrase the question. They say, in today's video, we're going to be talking about XYZ. And if you are a ABC kind of person, it's really important that you tune in because you're going to learn XYZ. Great. That was a great intro. So now I ask the next question. All right. So who are you? And how did you come across this information? Why do you believe in it so strongly? And then they say, so my name is so-and-so, and for the past 10 years, I've been doing XYZ, and I stumbled across this information in kind of a funny way, and I believe in it so strongly because. Great, that sets the stage for what we're going to talk about today and gives context and establishes you and your identity and your expertise. Now let's move on to the core piece of the video. What is the first thing somebody needs to know? And why is this maybe different than what they might imagine? So the first step you need to take if you're trying to accomplish this big result is XYZ. And this might sound counterintuitive because, so you get the point. By asking the questions this way and having the client rephrase the answer, it makes all of those pieces flow really smoothly. And then when we go and do the edit, we can just chop out all of the spots where we're talking back and forth, or we're kind of brainstorming what the next point might be, or there's any breaks in the conversation, and there's never any choppy edits. A lot of times if you just start talking, you might reference that thing. But if you put your jump cut right there, the viewer goes, wait a minute, what thing? What are we talking about? So there's this missing context. But by always rephrasing the question and the answer, we always have that context and it makes it flow really smoothly. This might be nerdy or technical, but just the point is it makes it so easy for our clients just to riff, answer the questions, and the final product always looks great. The second method that we use is the pick your 5 method. So I don't ever want to put words in my client's mouth. I don't ever want to say, here's the outline for your video and you have to stick to this outline. I want to save my clients as much work and as much time as possible, but I want the message to always be authentic to them. It's a big deal that my clients trust me and my team with sharing their message. Our voice and our message and our ideas is the most important thing that we have. So it's a big deal that we get to create that with our clients. I want to honor that and strike that balance between saving them time, but also being authentic to their ideas. So we'll agree on the headline for the video, and then I'll come up with like 10 bullet points of what each of the subsections could be. And then I show them to the client and they pick the 5 that they like the most. Or if they don't like any, we can always come up with more. So we give them the opportunity to say, yeah, I would have come up with those 5 on my own too. Now I feel like I was the final decision maker in this. It wasn't forced on me. And this will be easy for you to replicate for yourself. If you have a VA, if you have other team members, you could tell them, hey, I want to make, a handful of YouTube videos. I'm going to do a filming session tomorrow afternoon. Here's the videos that I want to make. Help me come up with a bunch of ideas for those. And they can come up with 10 or 20 bullet points. You pick the ones that you want, and then you can riff off of those. So that's the second method, the pick your 5 method. Now, the third method that we use is creating slides. So we will create slides for our clients. And then when we get on a filming session, we will share our screen and then just show the slides to the clients. And then all they have to do is just react to what we're showing them on screen. So we already have kind of an outline, we have a flow for the video, but rather than making them follow that or remember it or try to write it on a piece of paper or use a teleprompter, we just share our screen, we show that to them. All they have to do is just follow the slides as we present it to them, and they naturally stick to that outline. And then the cool thing is, not only does that make it easier for our clients to make the YouTube videos, but then we'll use those slides on the finished product itself, and that's an extra level of visual engagement for the final viewer. They get to look at those same slides, and it just makes it look more professional and polished as well. So those are the 3 methods that we use to create YouTube videos with our clients. I just want to share, hopefully this is an encouraging message for you, that if you think that creating YouTube has to be this huge production and it has to be super time intensive and it's just daunting and intimidating, it doesn't have to be. You can create YouTube videos that are high quality, that people will love to watch. Some people out there say, you don't need to do any editing at all. We're in this era now where actually unpolished creates more rapport, it feels more relatable. And I disagree with that. There is so much content out there that if we expect somebody to give us our time in consuming our content, we have to show them that we put time into this content to make it in the first place. It's worth your time because it was worth my time. So it has to be polished and professional and high quality, but that doesn't mean it has to be difficult to make. For our clients, it's fast and easy, but the final product looks great. If you'd like to learn about how we do that for our clients, I'll leave a link to my Instagram account down below. Shoot me over a DM. I'll tell you more about how it works. Once you know how to make your YouTube videos, next you need to know what to make them about. I have what I call the 8 ulterior motive YouTube videos. These are videos that look like regular YouTube, but they actually serve a secret purpose. For example, one of them is a VSL. You think you're just watching a regular YouTube video, but it's actually a video sales letter that sells you and your mechanism and gets somebody excited to buy from you. So there's 8 ideas on that video. I'll link it down below or click here to watch it.